But let's get on to kind of the next part of Jonathan Jones's question. He says, "I know cap space is a problem now. That's been said. Now, with that said, and having Todd, who do you think gets cut or released, and who needs to stay that people are maybe talking about as guys that should get cut? Because we need the cap space, Joshua."
Yeah, yeah. Um, I know Calais Campbell. That's a 9.6 million hit. I'm not cutting him. He's the leader. He's one of the leaders of the defense. I feel like a restructure should happen. Another two guys that I do feel like we could cut or possibly try to throw in a trade combination is Nick Bull or Chuck Clark. More likely on the Chuck Clark end. There are teams that do need a safety. No, Chuck Clark is not no premier safety, but he's better than some of the safeties that they're starting for opposing teams out here in the NFL. Patrick. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm going with Project Pat. I'm sorry. I love my fullbacks. I love my running backs, but I mean, at the end of the day, with this innovating offense, I've seen Todd Monken run RPOs, and the fullback was non-existent. You can literally pick up an undrafted fullback. Hell, if you want to, they can go reunite with Ben Mason for the hell of it, and he can be more of a utilized type of fullback like Kyle Juszczyk is used at San Fran. Because I mean, I'm not taking away from Patrick Ricard. He's been huge. He's been a big instrument of the previous offense. But in this upcoming offense, I do not feel like he will have a place. I don't feel like he will be used in motions or orbit plays or anything of that nature. I feel like most of his time will be sitting on the bench because Todd Monken, he used more specialty guys. I mean, I'm just being completely honest. So I feel like that could possibly be a cap casualty. It's nothing against him, like I said, but I'm just thinking about how Todd Monken been using his personnel previously.
Yeah, and right now Patrick Ricard, I think Patrick Ricard's contract could definitely get worked out. Right now, it looks like there is a potential out right now where it would create 2.3 million in dead cap, but could save about $2.5 million in cap space. You could do it one of two ways. You could do the pre-June 1st release and just have the dead cap this year and save 1.6 million this year, or you can do the post June 1st release and have 2.7 million cap space freed up this year, but have a little bit of dead cap this year and next year. So it's like it could save some money. And, Project Pat is somebody that's obviously very good and very important to this team, and it has been. But at the same time, like if the Ravens don't want to use a fullback, it's not worth paying a fullback. Like
Yeah,
it's not worth paying Patrick Ricard $4 million to play 3 snaps a game, to play 5 snaps a game. The reason why Patrick Ricard's making that money, and it was worth the contract, was this guy's out here 60% of the plays,
yeah.
which Todd Monken, if you use Patrick Ricard on 60% of the offensive snaps, we're going to have a problem. All right? You're going to have to come on the Trust the Bank podcast and tell us why you are using the fullback over the wide receivers and over the running backs and stuff like that. Because I think,
Exactly.
let's say we keep Gus Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Run plays with Gus in where Patrick Ricard may be on an RPO. Oh, it's a triple option now rather than just, it's a blocker. Or you can have Gus block. Gus is a fine blocker. He's not Patrick Ricard. We
Right.
don't need Patrick Ricard on a counter run, right? On a read option.
Mm-hmm.
It's helpful in certain instances. You don't need him every play. So it's an interesting idea. I'm curious to see what people think about, maybe letting go of Project Pat. But I'm going to say it, Gus Edwards. I was mad when we extended Gus. And I remember people were mad at me for being mad about Gus getting extended. Because I was like, we have J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins is clearly the best running back on this team. And then we extended Gus right after J.K.'s rookie year. I think it was a 2-year contract. And it was like, okay, why? Like, why are we doing that? Because now he's just going to take away carries from JK, and it's going to mess with him. Now, what's happened? Gus is taking carries away from JK Dobbins, and JK's getting mad. And JK's clearly better than Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards is also making a good amount of money. He's making more money than J.K. Dobbins, and we can cut Gus or we could trade Gus. Now, people overvalue Gus Edwards a lot. Gus Edwards, if we traded him, we trade him for like a 6th round pick. Like it would be like Gus Edwards and our 3rd round pick, and maybe we trade up 8 spot. Like Gus Edwards does not have the 2nd round value I see a lot of people have. He's not an elite running back. And he's making more than rookie running backs, and most rookie running backs are going to come in and be better than Gus.
Didn't Dalvin Cook just get released from Minnesota?
No, he. There's talks that he may get released. There's also talks that Joe Mixon may get released.
They're crazy if they do that, but hey, whatever.
Because they're making too much money as older running backs, and it's like, So I think Gus Edwards is a potential guy, because it's like Munkett could come in and we draft a running back in the 4th or 5th round. This is a deep running back class. I mean, I keep doing these mock drafts and I keep drafting Dwayne McBride because I love his game.
I want Bell. I'm sorry. I'm going to call. I'm going to go Michigan. I want Bell. I wanted Blake, but he's taking an NIL deal and stayed for a senior year.
Yeah,
stupid. But hey, you're still getting paid some type of way. But I'll take Bell.
Yeah, the Kenny McIntosh, the backup running back at Georgia, phenomenal pass catcher, great running back too. What did we do? Oh, we hired their offensive coordinator. Maybe we go after him. Muhammad Ibrahim, the running back out of Illinois, I can't even pronounce his name. The Pittsburgh running back. I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
This is a very deep class. So draft a running back in the 5th round. Boom. Like we're gonna get Gus Edwards production. I don't think it would be hard whatsoever. We have a great offensive line. We have a running quarterback that allows running backs to flourish. So like I don't think we need Gus. I'm fully with you, Joshua, on Calais Campbell. I think we rework his contract and maybe turn it into a 2-year deal. And then Calais can just retire after this year if he wants to. Kind of like how we extended him last year. Where it's like, hey, let's give you a 2-year deal. Reduce the cap. You just keep doing that where it's basically a 1-year deal and he has the option to stay, and we'll just rework it and give him a heavy cash bonus.
Now, let me ask you this. We talked about it before we started recording. We did see that Patrick Queen deleted all of his Ravens paraphernalia information.
Yes.
Do you feel like he will be a trade casualty?
I feel like we could trade Patrick Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Queen would actually have trade value. That is the one player that like the Ravens could trade. Now, I don't think he's not a 1st rounder. I don't think he's a 2nd rounder. He may not even be a 3rd rounder, but you could maybe get a 4th. You could package Patrick Queen in the 3rd to maybe get an early 3rd or a very late 2nd. I just don't think it's worth it because he's super young.
Yeah.
And we have Roquan. Just having that duo right there, not having to worry about it, is huge. Remember, they hadn't played with each other before, and they looked like they'd been playing with each other forever.
Right.
From day one. They get a full offseason together. This defense could be insane. It was also the first year underneath Mike McDonald.
Yep.
So I think we're going to keep Patrick Queen. I'm not expecting Patrick Queen to stay with the Ravens after his contract is up. That is not an expectation I have. I think he's going to leave in free agency. I think he's going to command big money. But I feel like we're going to keep him. And I think we should keep him because he's not making a ton of money.
Yeah.
So it's not worth it. Like I think we could save save $3 or $4 million, or maybe it's $5 million if we trade Queen. We're not going to get a player worth $5 million that's more valuable than Patrick Queen is because we need a middle linebacker for $5 million. There's no linebacker for $5 million. We're not getting if we traded him for a 1st round pick and we drafted a 1st round player at middle linebacker, yeah, it could work. But we're not doing that. We're not trading Patrick Queen to get a rookie linebacker. in the first round.
No, for some reason I feel like they would do. Now you know what? I'm not. I'm gonna give us the benefit of the doubt because part of me was like, "Oh, what if they trade Patrick Queen?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, Josh Ross, come on, just come on up, baby. We got you." Now, do I feel like Josh Ross can contribute to this defense? Yeah. Maybe in his sophomore year, we do. We realize that we do. Our linebackers and our front seven guys, they are late bloomers. I mean, the good thing about it, he came under from Mike McDonald, so he's understanding the playbook and things of that nature. He just haven't really got the play time. I think he was another guy that got hurt too. But I feel like trading away Patrick Queen, I don't think that would be beneficial to us, honestly. And I don't know if you watched any of the Pro Bowl event where Ray Lewis coaching the AFC. It was said that, well, out of Ray Lewis' mouth, that him and Roquan will be, linking up over the summer. So if Ray Lewis is going to link up with Roquan, I'm pretty sure Patrick's is gonna be tagging along with. And if you put Ray Lewis, Roquan, and Patrick Queen in the same room for however many hours for weeks or months, I feel like just along off that knowledge of how to break down coverage and offenses and schemes, that's going to help take Patrick Queen's and Roquan's game to another level. So I feel like it will be premature to throw Patrick Queen in a trade package. And I know everybody be like, well, he's had mishaps. He had this, he did that. Yes, he makes mistakes at 100 miles per hour. That's the only good thing about Patrick Queen, where it helps out. But we all seen what happened when he's playing on his true position and his true nature as a weak inside linebacker. He flourished. He's literally flourished. And when you see Roquan and Patrick Queen on the field together, that is literally what JK and Gus is when they're both healthy together. Lightning and thunder. They truly are thumpers because Roquan would literally chase you down, and Patrick Queen, he'll just clean up, or vice versa. So I mean, I do think it's premature that if the Ravens try to make that move, I do understand if that they can find a team that could possibly get it that would get us back in a second, or maybe even give us another third round pick, because you would have to package him up and maybe Chuck Clark together. Maybe send him to New York, maybe send him to Carolina. Well, not Carolina because they are on the rebuild. I don't know who their middle linebacker is right now currently, so I don't know if it would truly be beneficial. But Patrick Queen will only flourish as a weak inside linebacker as of right now. So I definitely think that wouldn't benefit us.
Yeah, and I think people need to remember Patrick Queen was drafted as a project.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we drafted Patrick Queen, it's not like we were in a situation where it was like, oh man, we just need we would have just signed a guy.
Yeah.
Like it was like, oh man, Patrick Queen, because there wasn't a linebacker in that class. It was Kenneth Murray and it was Patrick Queen. It's also, there's a guy to Wisconsin. He was an outside linebacker. Zach Bond might have been his name. He went to the Patriots, but it wasn't a class where it was like, oh man, it's got a Roquan Smith. When Roquan Smith went top 10 to Chicago, it didn't have a Micah Parsons where it was like, hey, this guy can play middle linebacker, just dominate right away.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have that. It was like, hey, here's some guys that are built on potential. And we drafted Patrick Queen. He was super young. He's younger than Adafe, who's also drafted as a project. We need to wait on these guys. We can't keep giving up on them. We obviously have high hopes for them to play right away and do well right away. And they've both shown so many flashes. Patrick Queen is very good at a lot of things. And he's getting better at the things that he's not good at. Right? The coverage has gotten better. The missed tackles have gotten better. And he's stayed great at plugging holes, great at shooting gaps, and great at blitzing the quarterback. So, I think Patrick Queen is a must keep. To kind of answer Jonathan Jones's question. I think this team is you want to keep most of this team together.
And we're going to constantly keep on saying it. If this team was to continually stay relevant and be a quote unquote Super Bowl contender and not building a team just to be, regular season winners, you have to keep some guys in house. And we just saw this past preseason where the cap is cap. We didn't see some teams make move. I know the Ravens organization like the penny pinch, get our great value deal players, but honestly, after making the move for Todd Monken, if you truly believe this OC is going to be the guy for the next couple of years, you need to make some mountains move. You need to we need to lock up our QB, whether it's on a franchise tag or not. You need to lock him up. If you truly believe that our franchise QB is a franchise QB, lock up some weapons for him so he can start being the QB that he wants to be in the NFL, and also the QB that you all believe that he can be in the NFL as well. So I mean, something better happen. Something got to happen quick, fast, in a hurry. Comes free agency. It comes come the end of March.
Absolutely. Everybody that's listening or everybody that's watching, thank you so much. Let us know your thoughts and opinions. If you want to leave a review on the podcast, that does help it out a ton. So that's very much appreciated. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment, leave a like. Let us know your thoughts. Who should the Ravens release? What do you guys think about Todd Monken? We're super excited. We're going to try and live stream this weekend, trying to have a live stream in the weekends, podcast during the week type of thing during the off season. And on the weekends, like, we talk more sports than just Ravens football. We talk basketball, we talk baseball sometimes when it's on, stuff like that, talk video games, all that stuff. We like to have a good time. So thank you all so much for, listening, and we'll see all of you again next time.